Hey everybody, Spencer here. Before we get started, I just want to say we had to split this recording into two parts. My daughter didn't like it when I was recording for that long while she was at home, so we lost some footage due to that. We did finish the video, but Matt's side also didn't record properly. Rather than just not posting this video this week, we decided we'll just splice together what we have, record it, and get Matt's side fixed for next week. Then we won't record during the day when I'm a stay-at-home dad until my daughter's a little bit older. So thank you, everybody. I hope that's not too big of a deal, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video of Constructed Clash. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Constructed Clash. It's been a while, Mackling. Standard was bad. Was bad? Is bad? Is what it is. But we have RCs coming up for Modern, and you and I wanted to jump on the mouse and keyboard, as they say, to deliver some Modern content to the people, from the people, by the people. Matt, what are you playing today?
I'm playing Azorius Tameshi combo, also known as Belcher. This deck's been doing pretty well lately. It was one of the better decks when Boros Energy was clearly the best deck, but it's kind of proven itself to be still a mainstay in the format. So,
yeah, Matt didn't even text me. We're just on a call together 2 days ago, and Matt, you asked me, you were like, "Hey, are we gonna record?" I was like, we should. And you're like, I was looking through the videos. We've never played Belcher. And what's funny is we've recommended Belcher in these videos. We've talked about Belcher multiple times in these videos and just haven't ever played it. And so I think that the deck is very good. I think the deck is misunderstood. And I think that hopefully we can shed some light on that. And we're doing something a little bit different this time, where Matt is actually just going to record his side. We won't actually have a hand cam going on the main feed. If you want to watch what Matt's doing, just go to Constructive Criticism on Patreon, and his side of the gameplay will be posted there. But we'll start talking up a place like we always do, and you'll still be able to see stuff if you just want to see it from Matt's angle. Just heading over there. I'm playing Tron, which is a deck that we talked about recording like 2 weeks ago, I think. And Tron has gone through some changes. Specifically, I think decks like Eldrazi Ramp have fallen out of favor in the meta, and Tron has kind of lifted that torch. And there are versions that play green still for Mycospawn, but the vast majority of them are just colorless decks, man.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like there are three different branches you can go roughly with Eldrazi Tron. You can either go green for sowing Mycospawn, you can play some number of Tezzeret Cruel Captains, or you can play Glaring Fleshraker. And I think those are basically your three options for, sort of that mid-game slot.
Yeah, and when knowing that we were going to play Belcher, we're like, well, what's an interesting matchup? And Tron is one that it doesn't present a clock so fast that it would kind of ruin the video, but also has game in the matchup to kind of make it a more interesting video.
Right.
I actually don't even remember what the first deck I said was. That you were like, I don't know if that'll be a good video.
I think it was Affinity we were talking about.
Oh, no, you were talking about Affinity.
Yeah. It seemed like Pinnacle Emissary might just be almost unbeatable.
So, I'm kind of curious, how important do you think the die roll will be for us today? Because I think it's probably really important in this matchup.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be a matchup where it's going to come down to die roll. I think that it's mostly going to come down to how good you are at drawing Karn and how good I am at drawing answers to Karn.
Okay.
For main deck answers, I just have the counter spells and a single copy of Into the Flood Maw if it actually does hit the board. I guess there's potential to attack it with Tameshi, but it
Yeah, it
seems
seems slow. I've actually never played this matchup for what it's worth. I mean, I played a lot of different ramp and Tron decks in my life. I played against Belcher, but I've actually never played this matchup. Have you?
I probably have. I've played quite a bit of Belcher and also played some amount of E-Tron through leagues. I don't remember it specifically though, so I can't say for certain.
Well, we're gonna go take a break, dive into the decks. We'll see you in just a second. All right, let's go over your deck first, Matt. Why don't you talk to me about what's going on in Tameshi combo, as we call it?
Okay, so the main idea of the deck is that you don't play any actual lands in the deck. You play the modal double-faced cards that have come out through, various sets at this point. And the idea is that Goblin Charbelcher will reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. And then you deal damage to any target equal to the number of cards revealed. So since we're not playing any actual lands, it's going to always reveal our entire deck and then deal that much damage to the opponent.
So how many actual lands does this deck play? Because
how many double face cards does it play?
Yeah, so like if we're looking at it, I see 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I see 23 in the main.
Yes, there are 23 in the main. That's correct.
And then there's a mountain in the sideboard.
Yes.
Well, let's not talk about the mountain yet. So, so there's 23 lands in the deck. Is what we're getting at. How many of them can enter untapped? Is it just the 4?
It's most of them. So there are 10 of them that enter tapped all the time.
Okay. So the majority of them enter untapped.
Yes.
What is this deck trying to do then? Like, obviously trying to get Goblin Charbelcher into play. Like, we've seen this strategy in Legacy for 15 years.
I mean, probably longer than that, right? Basically, since Charbelcher got printed, I would guess. I think that was in Mirrodin.
So what is this?
Yeah. So the idea for this deck, instead of like a lot of the Charbelcher decks before would try to ramp out a Charbelcher very quickly, this deck is trying to be more of a control deck. I don't think that there's even a way to win the game before turn 4. I think turn 4 is the earliest you can win the game, almost certainly. So the idea is that you either suspend a Lotus Bloom on turn 1, and then you will have 7 mana on turn 4 naturally that way, or you can Word of Invention for Lotus Bloom on turn 3, and then you'll have 7 mana on turn 4. Alternatively, you can Whir for Lotus Bloom and use your Tameshi to return a land to your hand for 1 mana. You can return a land to your hand, rebuy the Lotus Bloom to create mana that way. It also, Tameshi draws a card whenever a non-creature permanent is returned or something to that effect. Whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. And this is for either player, so Tameshi actually does have some weird interactions with things like against like decks like Amulet, where they're going to be bouncing their own permanents. If they use a bounce land with a Tameshi in play, you actually get to draw a card. So yeah, basically the idea here is that you control the game to the point where you can create 7 mana and play a Goblin Charbelcher and then just kill your opponent in 1 turn. That's the most typical line of the deck. We get to play things like Disrupting Shoal as a counterspell because all of our lands can actually be pitched to it for different casting costs, which is nice. It's one of the reasons why you have like this interesting split of modal double-face lands. Like Waterlogged Teachings, for example, can counter 4-drops. The Suppression Ray can theoretically counter 5s if that matters, but also it just is your only blue-white dual land for the deck for Tameshi in case you have the Lotus Bloom already in the graveyard. And then we are cycling through our deck using the powerful 2-drop creatures, Thundertrap Trainer and Philagi Archaeologist to try to find, pretty much anything you need. It is not so uncommon to even find the Lotus Bloom on turn 2 and then plan for like a turn 6 win, or I guess it's a turn 5 win if you're fighting a Lotus Bloom there.
Yeah, you and I had an interesting conversation about Thunder Trap Trainer and, kind of its place in Magic, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And what was so funny about it is we both just agreed it was better in this deck and other Combo S decks than basically any other version of this wizard getting into the fray.
Yeah, I mean, and that's mostly proven to be true. I mean, a lot of these cards have been very close to even playable in older formats. Like Pelagi Archaeologist was something that people talked about playing in like Vintage, for example, but it wasn't quite up to the cut. But Thunder Trap Trainer is the best version of this that they've ever printed, and it is, currently a legacy, vintage, modern staple. And also standard for that matter. It's every format that this card can be played in, it is played in.
Well, let's move on. We don't need to talk too much about. I guess we could talk about the Mountain in the sideboard now if you want to. I don't know if it'll come up in this.
It shouldn't come up in this matchup. The Mountain is basically for anybody that's playing a bunch of land destruction. That most land destruction in Modern will let you tutor up a basic land. Normally in game ones for Belcher, that's just a Stone Rain. Like Beseju is very good against you in game ones. I mean, even post board. White Orchid Phantom, etc. And you set in the Mountain for those matchups so that you're not getting taken off your mana on the early turns.
Let's talk about Eldrazi E-Tron next. This is it's honestly not that complicated of a deck. It is doing honestly like the Tron things plus the Eldrazi things. They did a little Dragon Ball Z fusion dance. And the key cards to think about here are Karn the Great Creator, Eye of the Ugin, or Ugin, Eye of the Storm, sorry. And then your other 7 drops. It's playing Eldrazi's Temple and Ugin's Labyrinth. The Trial Lands, a Waste, and a Swamp. The Swamp is just so that you don't get got by kind of what you said just 30 seconds ago about, land removal.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that one specifically for Beseju as well, right? Because you also have a basic waste in the deck, which you can get with most of the other effects. But
yeah,
Beseju being basic land type does not include waste. There's only 5 basic land types.
Yep.
Even though waste is a basic land.
Yep. So, it plays the expedition maps, it plays the Mind Stones to just kind of ramp you out. And it really is kind of your classic Tron deck in the new era. I don't really have a lot to say for like new players. Like, you get to play one of the best cards in Modern in Kozilek's Command. You get to play the best game ender in Ugin, Eye of the Storms. And you get to play one of the best cards in Modern that is both a win condition and a hate card in Karn the Great Creator. And then you have pretty good disruption between Warp and Wheel Dismember and Thought on Seer.
Yeah, I think that sums it up great. I mean, people are probably generally familiar with the way that Tron tries to play the game. This deck it has a little bit more nuance with like how you sequence your lands with the Eldrazi Temple and Ugin's Labyrinth package. But mostly we're doing the classic Tron thing.
Behind the scenes, we were playing a game today where we were debating what land to play on turn 1, and then realized immediately that we actually were probably supposed to play the other one because there was actually more of the other effect, the 2-mana effect for Thought on Seer specifically, than there were for getting actual Tron on turn 3.
Yeah.
And, I think that for what it's worth, like, most of the stuff in the deck is either an Eldrazi or... I mean, most of the stuff is in the deck, like Thought on Seer, Devour Destiny, Sire of 7 Deaths, Kozilek's Command, sorry. Like, they don't care if it's an Eldrazi Temple or a Labyrinth, but, Labyrinth cares about other stuff, so...
It's really only Ugin that has a little bit of nuance with your Eldrazi temples. Basically, there's all the other cards that
and Warping Wheel, as we discovered today.
yeah, sure. Yeah, basically all the other cards that cost a lot of mana are going to be able to be cast with your Eldrazi Temples. Karn the Great Creator obviously doesn't work with Eldrazi Temple either, but it's also pretty cheap. You can play it, early and then eventually find something that costs a lot more mana.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for the decks. How do you expect this matchup to play out, Matt?
Yeah, as I was kind of talking about earlier when we were talking about the matchup, I think that it's probably going to mostly come down to how good you are at resolving a Karn, drawing and resolving a Karn.
Yeah.
I think post board there might be some more interesting stuff. Like you definitely have some stuff in the sideboard that could reasonably come in.
Well, let's jump on to the games. And if you want to watch Matt's side, head on over to patreon.com/CCMG, and we'll see you guys in just a second. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the games! All right, Matt, are you ready?
I am ready. It feels like I've won a lot of die rolls, but I don't know if you just like incepted that into my mind by giving me some confirmation bias there.
You have won a lot of die rolls. For what it's worth, before we start, the loser. Sorry, no, I'm sorry. The winner of this match has to buy the other one, Final Fantasy Tactics, for the Switch. So
is that right?
Together. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the winner has to, or the loser?
The winner has to. So whoever wins gets the pride, but also has to buy Final Fantasy Tactics for their deal.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. I think mine's a keep.
Yeah, mine is definitely a keep.
I think if we're in the blind, there's no way I'm allowed to mulligan this. Like,
cannot really ask for more from our opening hand here.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, Devourer ends. Here's the revealed zone, so we know what we're playing against now.
Well, mostly.
Yeah, I don't think it changes our line anyway. If I was on the draw, it would actually be interesting. I would actually probably play an untapped land here to hold up Spell Snare, but that's never I shouldn't say never, but almost never going to matter on the draw. Actually, this is one of the few matchups where it could theoretically matter, although Chalice for 1 isn't a real big concern for this deck, so...
Not great. So our options are Devourer Destiny, Tezzeret, Mindstone, Ugin Labyrinth, and yeah. I don't think well, the Ugin Labyrinth might actually be good because it actually lets us because then we don't have the Tezzeret. All of this seems kind of mid, to be honest. I can just choose no, right? Like,
you can choose nothing, yes.
Yeah, I think all of that. After seeing this land, we know what we're playing against.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also the Lotus Bloom one suspend. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's
all been given away.
All right, so we're gonna lead on mine.
It's definitely looking at the exiled cards from the Devourer of Destiny. It definitely tells us a little bit about what our opponent might be looking for. It probably means they are either trying to set up Tron and don't have it readily available, or they're just hard looking for Karn, which I think both things are reasonable. You'd think if Spencer had a Karn, they might have taken the Mind Stone just to try to assure that that's like a turn 3 play. I also didn't mention this in the deck tech, but I'm just realizing now that Sink into Stupor is actually an answer to a resolved Karn, as well as one on the stack.
I knew that.
Been a really great piece of this deck.
I I think it's been like one of the more important cards just from the archetype overall.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just the best modal double face land that there is, I would say. I think that this is a pretty clear Layer of Denial pick. We already have enough lands for Belcher. This is probably going to just stop us from getting Karned, and that's the game plan here. And then we'll try to win the game in 2 turns.
Well, Matt had the right read. We were definitely looking for other Tron land or Karn, which we had neither of. And I think we're on the same plan. So Warping Whale gets us Karn next turn, which we don't really know that he has the Flare of Denial.
You do. I revealed it off Thunder Trap.
Oh, you do? Oh, well then I'm just wrong.
You can kill the
I should have just killed it.
Yeah, you should have probably done it right then.
Yeah,
it's not going to impact the way that the game's going to play out, I don't think, though, because I'm just going to have I'm going to play a Sink into Stupor face up as a land and just hold up Blair the old-fashioned way as well. So,
well, I can't get what I want. I'm gonna kill this though because I think the Flare of Denial is actually a problem.
Sure.
No, I don't need to tap all of that, but it's fine.
Yeah, that is happening. I could run out Tameshi here. So I need to weigh the pros and cons of that versus just holding up Blair. So let's think here. If I play Tameshi and you go Urza land into Ugin plus or make mana, maybe there's a world where I get bit there. Like if it's like,
dude, if I draw an Urza land, that'd be pretty.
Urza land, Ugin, make mana, play Disruptor Flute, I think is the way that I could lose this game. So if I just hold up my mana and hold up Spell Snare plus Flare of Denial,
I agree.
I probably just win.
I agree. I think that tapping any mana here is crazy.
Yeah. I also think that I can probably just Tameshi next turn from hand, even if I needed to do that, which
it's a pretty big problem.
Likely.
We do Tezzeret. So we can cast Tezzeret. Go get map. If we cast map, activate map, we only have 5 the turn after. We can also get flute.
You can definitely not get Disruptor Flute with Tezzeret.
Why?
Because it costs 2 mana.
Oh, is it 1 or less?
Yep.
We're learning. I told you I never played this matchup. But if we actually play this and... So wait, we play this. It's still only 3 the turn after. Also, Matt probably just won't even let this resolve.
I'm trying to think if that matters. So I guess it. You didn't exile Chalice of the Void, right? With your...
No.
I can always just counter the Chalice, though. So I think that it probably is better to let this resolve, because if I counter this and you have Chalice from hand, Chalice for 0 actually does stop me next turn. Whereas if you tutor up the Chalice, I can just counter the Chalice at that point. And are there any other 0s that matter? I don't think there are. So there's no like sequence of me letting this resolve, you tutoring up a 0, and then also having a 0 in hand that punishes me. So I think this is just fine.
Well, you had perfect reads the whole game, Matt, and I don't have Chalice. We're gonna minus. I think we're also forced to get either Expedition Map or Chalice.
No, I think you're supposed to get Chalice 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the flare, but
and
still.
It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah. My hand is also just like this is the games when Belcher's easy. When you're just like, oh cool, I'll just like suspend a Lotus Bloom on 1, counter all of your important spells, and then just kill you with Belcher on 4. And I also have all the exact amount of mana that I need for all this. Like,
Yeah, I think
it does not work like this all the time.
I think I punted twice, which we already covered, but like I should have killed the Thunder Trap on the ETB
Mhm.
with the Dismember. Am I dead?
You are deceased.
Well, I'm not gonna let you do it.
You should definitely let them do it because you get to see their whole deck.
Well,
It doesn't usually matter that much. It obviously
I already showed everyone your whole deck.
Yeah, I know. You know the deck list. I'm just saying, like for people that are wondering, it is worthwhile to just let your opponent activate Char Belcher because you do get to see all the cards.
And we will be right back. All right, for game 2, I'm looking at a hand that has a Labyrinth with no ramp, a tower, and a waste. I think it's just a mole.
Yeah, my hand's also
actually it has double Karn though.
Sure. Hand's also somewhat on the fence. If I had a Lotus Bloom, it would be a Snap Keep, or even War of Invention would also go a long way.
Sure.
I think I might keep it anyway. So I can also just draw like, Thunder Trap Trainer, Philology, Archaeologist would be good draws. Lotus Bloom obviously on turn 1 would be the nuts. I think an untapped land might just get there on turn 5.
Yeah, I think that if I draw a 7-drop, this hand is kind of what I'm looking for in the matchup, so.
Sure.
Alright, so lead on lap or on tower, and then just go ahead and pass.
It's an interesting draw. This definitely makes me want to play this land instead of the tap land. It might bite me, but I think that having more answers to Karn is probably going to be important for me.
We did not draw a 7-drop, but we did draw Mindstone.
Also a pretty good one. I don't think I'm trying to fight over your mana. It's not a great draw. I think I'm somewhat priced into playing the tap land now. Because Sink into Super can also just answer a Karn in play in theory. Obviously, the card gets to tutor if that happens, which is not ideal. It's actually pretty close. Yeah, I am just supposed to play the Sink into Stupor. I'm gonna try it like this. I am not confident that holding this tap land is gonna be a winning plan. Obviously, I didn't draw any of the cards that I was, talking about yet, like the Searchers or Lotus Bloom.
So, withdrawing the temple, I have the option to play Karn or Thought-Knot Seer, and I think Thought-Knot Seer is the better lead play, just to see what I'm working with.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thought-Knot Seer is pretty interesting here. I think if I don't counter it, you're probably going to take my land. just the one that makes the most sense. But I also think that, I mean, the only way I can counter it is by losing the land anyway. So basically, I'm saying I would rather keep the board clean and not have a Disrupting Shoal, but I don't actually think that's necessarily the case. Disrupting Shoal can also just like counter a Chalice of the Void for 2 mana. If you Chalice for 0 at some point. So I think that we're going to let this resolve. Not in a great spot here. I think that we're probably not going to win this game at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to definitely take the land.
Yep. It's both my mana and one of my ways to counter Karn, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we did get the Thoughtseize bug. But I think that I cannot just, like, if I knew, like, if I had seen your hand and knew that your hand was 2 Karns and 2 randoms, I guess at least one of them's a land from what you were telling me. But if I knew that for sure, I would probably not play this Waterlog Teaching, but I think I kind of need to just, like, get mana and play it, not play around double Karn here.
Guess there's no reason not to attack first. Then we play card number 1. What did you pitch to that?
I pitched Tameshi.
One of the Tameshis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that this game is spiraling out of my control. Let me think of how I could win this.
Okay.
The other problem is I don't have a white mana. So like I drew Archaeologist this turn, which could theoretically put Lotus Blooms into the graveyard. My Tameshi can't get them back without white mana on a land in play. So like one option would be to just play Tameshi this turn, play Archaeologist, and next turn hope to hit the Lotus Bloom plus like the one untapped white source in the deck.
Sure.
Or I could just play Archaeologist this turn, try to spike a land so that I could just cast Belcher. I kind of am more into that because it's also possible to just hit the white source here. Okay, so we hit Whir of Invention, which is pretty interesting.
You also hit the white land.
Yeah, I see that, but I didn't hit the Lotus Bloom, so the white land isn't necessarily any better than any other land.
That's true.
The thing is, I don't know. I think I'm just supposed to take. Probably supposed to take the Whir. And then I'll just have to, figure out how to beat this card when it comes down. But
Let's look at my sideboard really quick. Where did my sideboard go? Is it on another screen? What just happened?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just tiny. I see it now. So...
I don't remember offhand what's exactly in your list.
There's Vexing Bauble, there is Disruptor Flutes, and Chalice of the Void.
Okay. I mean, I assume there's also Graveyard Hate, which you could consider with me having double Tameshi, but...
Yeah, there is a Tormod's Crypt.
Yeah. I think... Sounds like Disruptor Flute is probably the best bet, honestly.
I also think that, which makes me sad I didn't draw a land.
Oh, you don't have the mana to cast it this turn, so that's probably not the correct call then. You probably want something that impacts the board right now. Chalice of the Void we already know isn't going to work because I have War of Invention, not Lotus Blooms. Yeah, I guess Grafdigger's Cage doesn't actually work against this.
Grafdigger's Cage doesn't work. I think it's probably just the Crypt.
Yeah, I think Tormod's Crypt makes sense to me as well.
You also don't have the mana to counter this one right now, which is nice.
Yeah. I assume you also have the Stone Brain in your sideboard, right?
I do.
So that's certainly online for next turn. Okay. Think about how I want to do this. I think Tameshi first makes more sense than War first because I can't even use the petal or the Lotus Bloom.
The bloom, yeah.
It might actually also be hard to use Tormod's Crypt against Tameshi. So you can just activate a bunch of times. I think I need to Disrupting Shoal this. I just 2 mana negative to Tameshi again.
Okay. Okay, so
I think I'm still drawing pretty thin. It's hard to.
I'm probably just Stonebraining you.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's literally lights out if I have nothing, so that makes sense to me. I mean, I can't win the game without a Belcher.
So you have 2 cards, and one of them is Belcher.
You know what both of them are. It's Belcher and War of Invention.
Yeah, the other one's Worth. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I interest you in attacking with Thought Not Seer?
You cannot.
Why not, though?
That's not. that's not on the menu.
It'd be cooler if it was, though. Solve all my problems real quick. Okay, you have no cards in hand. You have 2 redraws if you want them. I can just play Belcher here. It opens me up to like Karn plus on the Belcher into
Dismember.
Yeah, or like some kind of big K command that you can find off of Tron. But my only other option really is to just war for the... I think that's better, though. So I just war for the Lotus Bloom. I need to draw, like, Sink into Stupor or into the Flood Maw to get rid of this Karn. Trying to think if there are even any other lines that even make sense. I think so. Here's the upshot of casting the War of Invention. It just thins my deck by 1 more card, right? And it also doesn't open me up to the thing that I just said.
Yeah, I think that's the better line.
Trying to figure out if there's any.
I mean, I guess the thing is the Karn can just kill it, but
Kill the Lotus one?
Yeah, doesn't it cost 0?
It does, but War's an instant, so obviously I'm not expecting this game to go on for a lot more turns. Like it would be War at the end of your end step, and then
got it.
Hopefully we draw it right now. I mean, that's the upside of playing Belcher, is that not totally all in on that turn. Like I might have 1 extra turn if I do it the other way. You just have Expedition Map in play, so actually I know that you have Tron online already.
Yes, that is correct.
I don't know. I'm gonna go for the Word line. I don't think that I can win this game if it goes on for more than 1 more turn. We're just gonna hope to rip it. This play is also, well, I guess they're about the same against Tameshi dying. They don't. Either way, I'm going to have... No, actually, playing... Yeah, no. Yeah, playing the Belcher and playing the Word the same against Tameshi dying. Interesting. Don't see a reason to respond to that. I guess this actually is, well, yeah, I guess either line actually lost to you drawing K command. No, I'm certainly dead. If you had the Thought Knots here, though, you definitely shouldn't have plus the Karn.
I didn't have the Thought Knots.
Or sure, but even if you have the K command, right? Like plussing the Karn before you did any of this was just... A slight inaccuracy, right?
Why is that?
Because you could have killed the Lotus Bloom.
Oh.
This doesn't meaningfully change the clock.
Only because I guess that's true. I guess no. It turns it into a 1 turn clock.
It was a 1 turn clock either way.
Only because I drew
I'd be at
the
8.
only.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
drew
You have
the-
a draw card in your hand, right? Why plus the card before you
there.
use your draw spell?
All right. Let's talk about sideboarding. I don't think that I have meaning. Like, I could just bring in the Disruptor Flute.
I think you have 2 of them in your sideboard, right? It's definitely got to be correct to bring in.
Yeah,
The second
and the
one.
question then becomes, like, is Warping Well even worth a slot? I don't think that there's, like, a meaningful sorcery for me to counter.
I don't even know that there's a sorcery in the deck.
Yeah, so I think that that's, like, a pretty easy change for me. What about you?
I guess Seagate Restoration. Yeah, I'm definitely going to cite in Harbinger of the Sea and the other copy of Into the Floodmaw. I mean, Into the Floodmaw comes in basically every matchup. I think I'm also going to cite in the 3 Consigns. It's sometimes really hard to find things to side out in this deck, but against your deck, I actually have at least 2 Stern Scoldings and 2 Spell Snares that are just like basically useless.
Sure.
Beyond that, I think Disrupting Shoal is not very good, given that the card that I most want to counter is Karn, and I only have 3 4-drops in the deck to pitch.
Yeah.
And
Consent counters it anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously upgrading the counterspell in general, but I think that you are allowed to side out probably 1 land. I'm not an expert on sideboarding with this deck, in full transparency. Like, I do often side out the Razorgrass Ambush, which is the 1 untapped white source. But I don't think that I need to in this matchup. I think that just Disrupting Shoal is just enough worse. The other cards I could consider are like Mystical Dispute, Tezzeret the Seeker is kind of interesting, but probably not for this matchup. I think that's mostly for decks that are bringing in like Collector Oof is one that's a big deal. It can go get your Dusk Rose Reliquary. But yeah, I think I'm going to try it like that. So +3 Consigns, +2 Harbinger, 1 Into the Floodmaw, -2 Spell Snare, 2 Stern Scolding, and 2 Disrupting Shoals.
Awesome.
This hand is certainly a lot better than our last one.
My hand is way better than my last hand.
Well, then we'll go to battle. Your last hand was so good. I had turn 3 Karn into turn 4, turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer, turn 4 Karn, turn 5 Karn. Like, on the play, I can't even imagine a hand that's better than that. This is like turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer and a turn 3 Karn. Was that what's happening?
I don't have anything to say.
I'm just psychic. It's fine. That's so good, though. Five mana on turn 2, the classic. All right.
Uh, I actually don't know what the take is here.
Yeah, it's not a it's a fairly interesting decision. I mean, Harbinger is going to cut you off with a lot of mana. You fortunately are not getting cut off colorless completely because of the Mind Stone, but it does take off K command unless you have a basic waste like Devour of Destiny.
Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to take the Harbinger.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, especially given that these kind of expecting these Jawari disruptions to be able to do a little bit more work than they are obviously about to do.
Yeah, hitting the 5 mana on turn 2 was really good against just Jawari Disruption.
Yeah. I think so. I could obviously hold up Jawari Disruption again, right? It's not that clear that you're going to have mana to play Karn around that. But I kind of think, like, the thing is, I'll already have Sink into Stupor for the Karn. I will probably need to answer whatever Karn gets, but for 0, I guess it can get Chalice. That would be the one. So my options here are play a tap land, hold up Jawari Disruption, and try to win the game next turn, and just hope that you don't have a 5th mana for real, like non-Eldrazi. That play is bad against any land plus Karn or another Thought-Knot Seer. I could alternatively cast Thunder Trap Trainer and hope to spike Flare of Denial or Force of Negation. It's a really tough choice. I think there are too many things that holding up to Jawari Disruption just loses to, and you also have full information on it, so I'm gonna cast Thunder Trap and just hope that this goes well for me. I would also not be unhappy to hit like Into the Flood Maw. I guess another Sink into Stupor is also fine. Now I can theoretically answer the Karn and the Chalice over multiple turns. Okay, he did have the 5th mana, so holding up Jawari Disruption was definitely not it. There's a Karn. I think you're almost definitely supposed to get the Chalice this time.
Yeah, because there's a literal.
I guess no, Vexing Bubble actually is even better, right?
Oh yeah, I guess it is. The question is whether I attack now.
Sure.
I don't think so.
Fair. Kind of like on the prison side of the matchup at the moment. Right, now I have the question of, does bouncing Vexing Bubble make sense? The thing is, Karn's going to be able to go get something else. Like, it's going to get the Stone Brain most likely. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. It's not even that clear that I can beat the Stone Brain ever. I think I'm supposed to just let this Lotus Bloom go and try to put Belcher on the hard cast at some point. I can even do it now, honestly. I'm gonna let this Lotus Bloom go and take a draw step and then try to reevaluate what I'm doing here. Okay. So if I just put Belcher into play here, that plays around Stone Brain. It basically only plays into Karn plussing on the Belcher Guess you could disrupt their fluid as well, but I have another Sink into Stupor in hand, so that's not going to work. So if I play Belcher, what am I losing to? It's just the couple of dismembers and the 4K commands. I mean, that's got to be better. Can you tutor up anything that would wreck me here?
On 6 mana?
Yeah, 6 does seem like the most you can get, and it's not even, well, it's only 6 for Eldrazi's, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's 6 for anything. So yeah, on 6 mana, what do you get here? I can't think of anything, because if you had 8, the Battleship would do it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be just correct to run out the Belcher here. I mean, I guess technically. Oh, I can't even Sink into Stupor the Disruptor Flute, though. I actually need another answer as well, because I gotta deal with this Karn still. Karn's just a Tony Silence all by himself. It's so good. You could honestly even Stonebrain Sink into Stupor, and that probably wins the game. I would need to draw like double into the Floodmaw. Yeah, I guess you also have exactly enough for K command here. Honestly, this is probably still better than me letting you tutor something else off of Karn. Like, obviously, I think that this is your correct play, and almost definitely going to win the game. But I think that if I just hold the Belcher and let you tutor up something else off of Karn, I probably am on almost no outs. I mean, the Stonebrain I just could not beat, actually, because like even if I Sink into Stupor the Stonebrain, you just play it again. And you had mana to play it twice and activate. So I guess you have one more than enough because of the temple.
It's saying I don't. It's saying that this is.
Yeah, that is how much. But you have one more.
Oh, but I have to.
Yeah. I think that these last couple of games have really showcased the power of
having Karn.
Well, Thought-Knot Seer is what I was gonna say. I think if you're playing like traditional Tron, like non-Eldrazi, I think that I probably beat both of these last hands just by being able to deal with the Karns on the stack.
We probably should have attacked that turn, actually.
Yeah, attacking there probably makes some sense. Okay. Or 5. I wish that I had suspended this last turn. I don't even know why I didn't. I think I was just thinking about other things and had like mentally kind of checked out of this game a little bit, unfortunately. But now I'm getting punished for it because I gotta. Is there any reason to do this now versus on the upkeep? Not really. Psychological damage by doing it on the upkeep. Opponent thinks they're about to untap with the Karn. Oh, there's also the fish, so it's actually better than just psychological damage. problem is that I need to draw Tameshi and also a white source, and I don't have the ability to do that and also continue to not let this Karn happen to me again. Yeah, and I just have to do this. So I guess the out is that I draw an actual hard counter to Karn and then can eventually draw into Tameshi and a white source.
Oh, I can't do that. God, I'm so down.
It's all good. I don't think it's gonna matter. I mean, you should have probably just not used the Tez, but or like untapped Mind Stone or something.
Yeah, that was just a mistake. My bad.
Oh, good.
I thought I was slamming the door.
Well, I don't think that. I mean, you already have Chalice in play, right? It's not like it was even really doing anything necessarily. Yeah, I think
For what it's worth, I do think that like
that I can win this game.
any deck would have a hard time with turn 2 Thought Seer and turn 3 Karn.
Yeah, certainly not an easy draw to beat.
I'm pretty sure I bottomed all of these cards and I'm drawing them anyway, and I don't know why.
I mean, probably put more than one of some of them in the deck, right?
Yeah, but they're in the order that
It's variant sometimes. It wasn't a hard counter though, so like if you just have a land, we're just done. I'll concede to land here, and otherwise I just need to draw Flare of Denial into Tameshi.
Unfortunately, Flare of Denial will not win you this game.
Why?
Because I have a Devourer of Destiny.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
you're just gonna represent lethal is what you're saying. But Devour takes your turn in the same way, right?
Yeah, but you would exile your thing on cast.
Sure. All right. You don't think I can win this game still? I'm still not totally sure what the outs are here. That's Karn. That's a search. That's a Stone Brain. We don't have mana to activate unless we drew a land this turn.
We didn't.
I think maybe Disruptor Flute was stronger for that reason then.
It probably was.
I'm trying to think about how I could possibly do this. Thing is, I probably need to bounce Vexing Bauble to get the Lotus Bloom into play. How do I deal with the Karn? I think I don't is the real answer. So maybe if I bounce Thought Not Seer, draw a card, maybe there's some outs that way. I'm cooked, but That certainly wasn't helpful. Oh yeah, sure. You can just cast it again. I mean that's I guess it does cut my outs of runners off, so there's that, but I wasn't drawing runners anyway. And we are gonna get stone brained and be done.
All right, let's fix some stuff and head to games 4 and 5. Dude.
Yeah, my hand's an easy mulligan. There's just really not a lot to talk about here. Like I have one land and like
I'm not
really
allowed to.
no
I'm not
payoffs.
allowed to mulligan Tron.
I mean, maybe in a post-word game in this matchup, although I don't know what the rest of the cards are.
It's Ugin, Tron, Devourer of Destiny, All is Dust.
I mean, yeah, literally none of those cards are good in this matchup.
But
You know what? Actually, All is Dust is like almost worse than Warping Whale. We probably should have cited that one out.
yeah, that's probably true.
The Warping Whale at least makes us Ion.
The thing is, though, this Devourer of Destiny could be a card.
Oh sure. Oh, you get the Scry. Yeah, yeah. You for sure should keep that. I was not even registering that part. This hand is much better. The big problem with this hand is that I don't want to put any of these back.
I wouldn't mulligan it for 7.
It just has to be that one. I think I talked about this a little bit. I'm not sure if it was in the game that got unrecorded, but generally, if I'm mulliganing, I err on the side of getting rid of cards that require 2 cards.
Sure.
I also think I am supposed to lead on the untapped land.
I'm just gonna put all of these aside.
Sure. Yeah, expedition map is fine.
What in the world is happening to me?
F6 value. I love it. All right, so what are the problem cards that could happen on 7 mana? It's got to be just 2 spells. That's what I'm really worried about here. I don't think I can really do anything about double spell, though. Has to be like kind of specific double spells too, though, right? To matter. It has to be like either Karn into Tezzeret for Chalice, or like. Actually, does that even work? I might actually be able to beat that. Well, no, because I'd have to counter the Karn. I can't counter both the Karn and the Chalice trigger. I mean, it is what it is. This is the thing I have. just debating on whether I'm gonna play. I might as well just shock the land in. There's no reason not to. Yeah, I mean, it just has to get countered, so. Yeah. This is certainly what I had feared, but I didn't have anything I could do about it with one counterspell.
Sorry, I'm doing math.
You're good.
7. Okay.
Yeah, Consign can actually counter a Chalice trigger, but I don't have another one, so. All right. I'm just passing here. I really need to draw a white source, I think is my out in this game. Or War of Invention would be maybe even better. Yeah. Ugin is fine. I don't think I can afford to fight over that. It's not like there are a few cards in the Tron deck that are basically just the end of the game for me, and I just need to pick those fights. Come on, white source. That is not a white source. Okay. All right, so
I don't know why I played Waste over Temple. That was just a huge mistake.
Just have to be on the same plan. I think I'm drawing to only War of Invention now, but there are 4 of them in the deck still. And obviously, you know, my opponent currently has 6 cards in hand and 1,000 mana. So it's not that likely that I even am doing enough to get to my next turn, but in a meaningful way. That's fine. I do not care about this. I learned recently that Devourer of Destiny is actually not a May ability. I was playing a Tron Mirror where I had Myco Spawns, and I had to take out my own Myco Spawns with it.
That is not.
Or was it Myco Spawn? Is it Myco Spawn Devoid? Maybe what was I was playing something else that most people weren't playing. Oh, it was Perilous Snare. It was the Oblivion Ring.
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, this is why you play to these outs.
Okay. Am I dead?
Yes. Unless you have something. I guess if you have an instant speed way to cast, if you have K command, actually, you're gonna be fine here. Just because the Ugin's in play.
I don't have anything.
Well, then you are dead. But it's actually interesting to note that the Ugin actually did become relevant, and I did not Flare of Denial it. I mean, it didn't end up becoming relevant, but if you had K command here, for example, you could K command for 1 or 0 or whatever and exile the Tameshi.
Well, if that Allah's Dust had been
The Warping Whale,
the Warping Whale, that also would have done it.
Yep, for sure.
And we're dead. Let's make that change. I think that's something we should have seen. But
yeah, for sure.
Finally, a game on the play again.
Wow, it's been so long.
For the marbles! I would love to play first.
I mean, this hand is definitely pretty good. I'm going to keep this.
I think my hand is pretty good too. I'm also going to keep.
I think you have to have a really good reason to mulligan Lotus Bloom, Goblin Char, Belcher in this deck. Like, there are certainly hands that would still be mulligans under those contexts, but not very many.
Oh, I just punted though.
It's unfortunate. So early in the game for a punt.
Math is hard, man.
I just looked at myself in my camera and realized I apparently was really going in the tank there for a second. Just apparently it was
Oh, were you frozen?
No. I was just running my hands through my hair, probably, trying to think. Yeah. Not too soft to this one, unfortunately. Chalices. I guess you could take the land. That's actually almost for sure the right play.
Yeah.
Do you have other lands in the deck, though? Hopefully we can draw to one of those.
Hopefully.
Okay.
That's why I punted last turn. I should have already had this mana.
Sure.
Or I guess 2 turns ago, but
whatever. Yeah, I see. You should have played Lab into Mindstone on one.
Yeah, into the map.
This is pretty interesting. The thing is, I think if you had Karn, you already have the mana for that. I don't think this could matter. Like, I'm not saying it couldn't matter. I'm just saying I don't think that me countering this could matter.
Draw land?
To draw land. That was a tap land, though, so probably not good enough. I feel like if it was an untapped land, we'd actually have a lot of really good outs off these Thunder Traps. Now I kind of just need your hand to be mostly non-functional, but it doesn't appear that that's what's happening over there. Okay.
assume I'm just supposed to take this whir.
That's what I would think. I think the other option that would make sense would be Thundertrap Trainer, just to try to get rid of blockers. It's trample too, man. And so many things. Okay. Okay, so I take another whir, play the land, block, go to 8. You play Sire, play another blocker. I am dead on board. What can I draw?
I don't have the mana to bring the Sire to my hand and play the Sire that you know about.
You do.
No, 4,
7.
5, 6.
You have the Mind Stone.
Yeah, that's 6. 4, 5, 6. I have to tap the
Yeah.
Labyrinth in order to bring the Sire to my hand.
But you can do that right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's true.
I think if I had another untapped land or a Tameshi in my hand right now, I would have outs. Potentially. Depending on what this is. Okay, this is a Sire from hand. Okay, it's the same thing. Yeah. Thing is, I think I need to draw 2 cards this turn to be able to have outs. And I just don't have 2 draw steps.
You have Into the Flood mod to bounce a...
I mean, that doesn't help me. Right?
Will give you a...
It gives me
Oh,
it gives me a
redraw,
redraw, but it's
yeah.
down 1 mana. Yeah,
That's true.
I think there are no outs. Yeah. Certainly that won't do it. GG's.
The marbles! All right, we will be back with the postgame. All right. I learned one major thing. I think we probably learned the same thing, and that Thought Seer is crazy good in that matchup.
Yeah, I really underestimated how important that card was going to be to your strategy in this matchup specifically. I mean, you won literally every game you played Thought Seer. And for the record, we played 6 games total of this matchup, and it ended up 3-3 with every game where you had Thought Seer you won, and every game where you didn't ended up being a loss. Although, in fairness, I did draw to a 4-outer on the last possible turn in the one game that I won, the one post-board game I won.
Yeah. The matchup feels, I don't know, like you have to draw your important cards on this side, which is kind of what you said going into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just maybe more important and impactful cards than we thought there were.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that the matchup is probably slightly Belcher favorite, only because in a closed deck format, I should say. Only because you're probably really likely to get the game ones, right?
Yeah.
Like if the Tron opponent doesn't keep a hand with Karn or has the presence of mind to chalice for 0 like early, it's going to be probably a win for Belcher in most game ones.
Yeah.
That being said, once Tron knows what they're playing against, I think that you have tons of play in the matchup, and it's probably much closer to 50-50 or even probably slightly Tron favored. So,
yep. That is going to do it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you'd like us to play next time. Matt, thank you so much for joining me this week. And we'll see everybody next time with another Constructed Clash.